We're ready.
Good evening and welcome to the Next Gen Season 17 for the Paramaxed Group A1 Tourers. We're live for round number 7. We're here at Brands Hatch Indy. Joining me in the commentary box is Jack, as it's going to be a full reverse grid. So welcome, Jack.
Hello everyone, good to be here. It's always nice to have a full reverse grid as ever. Seemed like the issue was with Tim with his interwebs, so we think he's just going to go and sort it. He's got time anyway, so.
Granted. Obviously, round number 7, this is kind of when the championship starts seeing who is involved after tonight. Just 3 rounds remaining after Brands Hatch. So it should be a bit of a cracker on our hands. We do have a couple guys missing from the top of the tables. That is the Les, who is currently sat 3rd in the tables. He unfortunately is unable to make it, and I think that's and Bob, so Bob not obviously at the higher point of the tables, but he is also unable to make it tonight, so this will be probably their drop scores unless Bob's had a worse result, i.e. a disconnection. Quick look at the tables, and Cam is leading the way on 97. He'll be starting at the back of the pack for the guys who the reverse grid affects. Jack is on 96, just 1 point behind the Les on 94. Adam Morris on 84, Fullfish 80, Johnny 60, D Whitehouse 51, Randy Matt 33, Big Bloody B and Shadowstalker joint on 32 points. Bob Marquand on 29, Jamesy 29, Boy Raxa 21, Traumatic Dave 21, Mix W 19, Tim 18, AMH 16, Tyler House 9, Reda 7, Cobra 2012 4. I will explain that these tables are pre-filler adjustments. Jack, do you want to explain what that means?
Yeah, so pre-filler adjustments basically link in with drivers who've taken part in maybe the one race or the two races. So if they don't take part in any more, they get classed as fillers. If they don't do more than five or more races rather, they get classed as fillers. So we take the tables just before the final round, and we adjust the points accordingly. So if a race winner is a filler and they've scored 21 points, they've won the race, then they still keep those 21 points, but the driver who was in second might have been in the championship. He goes from 18 to 21.
There you go. Always a good insight into how the tables work. Now, Brands Hatch Indy, it's a 1.2 miles long circuit. The GP version has also hosted the Formula One World Championship back in its day. Jim Clark, the likes of Jim Clark and James Hunt have won. James Hunt back in 1976 in his ferocious battle for that championship during the year. But tonight it plays host to the Monday Night Taurus. Shadowstalker has left the session probably because he's not quite got his time right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
All the guys have a certain time to set, apart from Weedas, who cannot set a time. He must start at the back of the pack, as he is only a filler in the championship. Obviously, if the guys get it wrong and they've got enough time, they can leave the session, rejoin, and redo it. If not, they have to give the places back from the start line if it's safe to do so. Jack, is that you parked up?
It is. On the right hand side, yeah, I've got Johnny behind me.
I'll tell you what, when you're going to leave your spot there, let us know. You can take us on a quick lap of the mighty Brands Hatch Indy circuit. To be fair,
if you cut back at 4:15, then I'll take you for a wheel spin start, a grid start even.
Obviously, there's not a lot to talk about during qualifying because the grid positions are set already. Obviously, another point about tonight is that normally the guys get a point for pole position. Obviously, tonight that will be Tim, but he's not going to get a point for pole position as he crosses the line, sets a 52.336, which for that BMW and his first lap, probably not a bad effort. Tim won't get the pole position point. What happens now is during the race, I've got a notepad and pencil, and a list of most of the people's names at the moment. And whenever one of them leads a lap, I note it down, and whoever leads the most laps will claim that extra point as Tim goes flying off.
Here we go.
Let's see if we can get back to Jack. There we go. Jack's off. Let's go for a lap of Brands Hatch. So into paddock heel, clipping the apex, using a bit of the curb. Don't want to go too high, because I believe it's quite harsh on penalties. Braking just at the bridge into Druids, down to second. Jack a little bit wider than you'd take it, but again, that could just be a Sierra thing. Graham Hill bend, flick left, down to second in the Sierra, clip the apex, and immediately get up to third so it didn't spit you off on the other side. Surtees, bit of a break in these cars, because they don't quite have the same sort of grip. And then into clearways. Again, tuck it in, and then bring it out wide as you go through Clark Curve. And then Jack will probably go back to the pits. It's a short lap, but it should create some fantastic racing with the reverse grid.
Like it did last season. Exactly like it did last season when, Johnny led for virtually most of the race and was unfortunate not to win in the end. So I have a funny feeling that tonight's going to pan out in a sort of similar way, to be honest.
Whilst qualifying is going on, just noting down everyone's name, because with a reverse grid you never know who's going to lead a lap, and obviously if it was like last season, Johnny was the one. I can't remember. Was it a top 4 reverse last time? It was, I believe, wasn't it?
It was full championship, yeah.
Or was it full? Because Johnny led most of the laps. I can't remember if did he get the extra point for that?
Yeah, he got the extra point. Yeah. He took the lead on lap 2 and led until like lap 21, something like that. It was very close to the end of the race. got overtaken by Adam not long before the end.
Yeah, Adam, a fantastic race last season. Got spun out, or he spun early on.
Yeah, he was involved in an incident going into turn 1 at Paddock Hill Bend with Bob Mark 1. It was no one's fault, it was just two cars merged and he went off into turn 1, into the barriers on the left-hand side, funnily enough. But he recovered really well. So it's anyone's race. It's anyone's race, really.
I hate to spoil your party here, Jack, but Weedas has a time of 3 minutes .9, which is quicker than Cam right now.
Oh dear.
So Weedas will probably have to make sure he gives that back at the start of the race.
I'm certain he will. Because he's currently doing
donuts on the grass,
flying off into the infield. So
no, he was already there doing donuts, mate.
Shadow Stalker's got himself in the right position. Everyone is in the right place now, as far as I can see, and there doesn't seem to be anyone out of it apart from Weedas, obviously.
I think Tim's using this as a bit of practice at the moment because he can go flat out all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
He can pretty much treat this as a free practice session. Whereas pretty much everyone else can't. They have to make sure they don't go underneath the time limit. So in reality, this should play into Tim's advantage if you can get off the line. As I believe that's Weedas having a bit. No, that's not Weedas having a bit of a slide. Who's that in the Mercedes? Big Bloody B. They're in the same livery. Commentator Joy.
Something has just. Oh, it was just the. Sorry, I thought someone had disconnected, but it's Project Car's timings has slipped. So I can see second and fourth, but not James Hughes third. Bit of an odd one.
Yeah, that's happened to me.
Disqualified.
Which means he's going to be starting at the back of the pack.
Hmm.
I can only assume he's come into the pits too quickly. Either that or he's been cutting corners too much. Who knows? But that is qualifying over. Let's have a recap of the grid, even though it's pretty standard. Tim and Traumatic Dave line up on row 1. Jamesy and Big Bloody B line up on row 2. Hopefully it will stay that way. Row 3, Shadowstalker and Matt. Row 4, D. Whitehouse, Johnny. Row 5, Full Fish and Adam Morris. Row 6, Jack and Weedas, who should be behind Cam, who's going to round off our grid. You going to say something, Jack?
Pardon, Jordan?
Were you going to say something then, just before joining the grid?
I'm going to say goodbye.
There we go. Thank you for joining us, Jack. Have good luck in this one, because it's going to be an interesting one. That's for certain.
For certain. Speak to you soon.
Perfect. So as Jack goes back, there's his speaker on the screen. Let's get the show on the road then. "13 cars, 25 laps. We have the 3 red lights. We are green here at Brands Hatch Indy. It looks like a good start from Big Bloody B, who's looking to go down the inside. He's in the lead, currently coming up towards Paddock Hill Bend. Are we going to get through cleanly here? Jack's not had a good getaway. He's now down to the back of the pack. We do get away cleanly as we head into Druids for the first time. Big Bloody B leading, followed by Jamesy, followed by Tim. Tim's now just being done by Shadowstalker in the Audi. Tim's going backwards as he now gets passed by Johnny and is under attack from D. Whitehouse into Graham Hill Bend. Side by side, bit of a door bank, but nothing special. Bit of touring car rubbing. Traumatic Dave now goes past him. Oh, that's a bit of a lunge from Weedas into Surtees. He's got that cleanly though. Matt has Cam. Oh, something's happened at Clearways. That was big. Was that Big Bloody B? No, it was. His Weedas has gone round. Someone's collected him by the seams of it. Meanwhile, Adam Morris up into 9th. Peter Jamesy leads the way. Back with Adam because he's looking to make moves. And into Druids. He's got Fourfish behind with his Nissan, and Jack just behind them. Tim's having issues coming out of Druids. Meanwhile, Traumatic Dave makes the move on Weedaz, coming out of Druids. A great little move for 12th place. The Ford Sierra doing a wonderful job. And James is still leading. Then it's Big Bloody B, and he's being tailed here by a group of 3 Audis. Johnny in third, D Whitehouse fourth, Shadowstalker fifth. James comes through to lead yet another lap. He's got to lead 13 to get that extra point. Here comes D Whitehouse. He's looking to the inside, can't quite get there. Into Paddock Hill Bend. Nothing doing there. Matt has Cam 1, 2, 3 Deers behind. But Cam is under increasing pressure from Adam Morris. He's left the door open going into Druids. Adam Morris going down the inside. Can he get the traction on the way out with that Sierra? Doesn't look like he can. Cam in that Mercedes, a formidable duo of car and man combination. Jack having a few issues in the background, but here comes Adam Morris into Surtees. Cam's gone a bit wide onto the grass. Adam Morris is through. Cam now down to 8th. Adam Morris is looking strong. He's now 3.5 behind the leader, who is Jamesy, and he's about to go on to lap 4, so he's now led 3 out of 3 laps. Meanwhile, Ronnie Matto being overtaken by Adam Morris into Paddock Hill, and Adam Morris making even more moves. He's down the inside of Shadowstalker into Druids. He is racking up the places now. Randy Matt having a go at Shadowstalker in the background, as is Fullfish on Cam. Into Graham Hill Bend. Matt can't quite get the move done. Fullfish still... Oh, Shadowstalker just losing the rear end there. It's lost a heap of places, but Fullfish just behind, side by side with Cam, and yet again Cam gets overtaken into Surtees. He looks to try and retaliate into clearways. A bit of a tap. Oh, more tapping behind us. Jack looks for the opportunity to come through. Cam just about defending that, and Jack up into... Oh, don't want to do that. Jack into 7th place. That's an interesting rejoin from Big Bloody B. And it's Carnage. Matt is on his roof. That looks like Carnage that stemmed from Big Bloody B's rejoin. I'm sure there will be a few unhappy people there. Peter R. James is still in lead. He's got 1.7 to Johnny with Jack in third. There's D Whitehouse, there's Shadowstalker, there's Big Bloody B. It looks like Big Bloody B and D Whitehouse had a bit of a coming together into Paddock Hill. Both of them went off. Big Bloody B's come back on the circuit right in the middle of a battle of 4 cars. And that included Rally Matt, Fullfish, RDF1 Adam Morris. Solomon Stacey saying Cam into 4th place. How do you avoid all that? It is impressive from the Mercedes man. He's up into 4th, and he is all over the back of Jack here. If these two can work together, there's the possibility that these two could get up into the 1st and 2nd places, which would be a great effort. These are your top 2 in the standings at the moment. If Jack beats Cam here, Jack will go into the lead of the championship. Only 1 point separates these two. So this is going to be an interesting battle to the end. Meanwhile, further down the field, Matt still has Fullfish all over him. The 4-wheel drive Nissan down the inside through clearways. Isidore James now leads his 6th lap. He's only 7 away from the bonus point. Fullfish easily getting through the Mercedes there. That Nissan very, very quick. There's Adam Morris, he's down in 11th. Weedaz is about 4 seconds in front of him. Meanwhile, let's go on board here with Cam on his bonnet. As we head up towards clearways, he's making the move down the inside. Bit of a tap as the door closes. There's a bit of a lunge from Cam, but it is worth the effort. But oh, look at the speed of that Sierra. Off down the straight he goes. And they are closing in on Johnny. 49.0 for Jack Glastar and a 48.9 for Cam. 49.6 for our current leader, Peter Jamesy. Weedaz, we're keeping an eye on that battle between Weedaz and, well, I say battle, Weedaz and Adam. Keeping an eye on the gap to see if it can produce anything. And continue to watch this battle for third though, is Cam and Jack. I believe are on the same page right now. They were just, looks like they're working together for now. Mainly because Cam can't keep up with that Sierra down the straight. Into Druids. D Whitehouse now has a penalty for cutting corners or exceeding the track limits, as the game would probably put it. Meanwhile, Adam Morris is catching up to Weedaz. And take a slightly wider line in, but there's not really found him any speed, that. Cam still close to Jack, but again, not close enough to warrant making a move. As Jamesy goes on to his 10th lap now. He's led 9 of 9. And Adam Morris has spun it coming out of Graham Hill Bend. That's not good because he's on the verge now of getting lapped, which is a bit of a weird saying to say for Adam. It's not normal that you... Oh, Jack's clipped the grass on the entry to Graham Hill. He's spun it around himself. Bit of a rookie error there from Jack, and he's let Cam through. He's going to let Big Bloody B and D Whitehouse through now. It's cost Cam a bit of time to avoid Jack there. That was a mistake that Jack could have done without. There's your current leader. He's now led 10 laps of the 10. There's Cam. But D Whitehouse and Big Bloody B side by side coming up towards Paddock Hill Bend. Looks like Jack's going to get in and nick the place in Big Bloody B as well. Big Bloody B trying to get a bit of a switch back through Paddock Hill to get up into Druid. Is not quite going to work. So Jack up into 5th, and he's all over the back of D Whitehouse now. He's got still a lot of time left in this race. I mean, it's a short lap, yes, but we're not even halfway through. Cam starting to claw that time back to the leaders. On board then with Jack TM53 Synopsis as we try and chase down the Audi. See that Audi going to be superior out of the corners with the traction zones. Up towards Druids. And you see that Audi pull away with the traction, the four-wheel drive system in that car. Far superior to any of the 3 base cars on the game. As Jack is struggling there through Graham Hill. He's going to have Big Bloody B for company up towards Sterling. Can't quite sort anything out there, but Jack's got to go really careful here. One mistake is going to put him down further, and the problem is Fourfish is gaining on them. Matt is on the back of Shadow Stalker as we head up towards Paddock Hill Bend. Peter Jamesy has led 12 laps now, so oh, Matt on the grass, would be lucky not to get a penalty from that one. Have a look back on the stream, see if I can spot exactly what happened there. It was a bit of a weird one. He's come up into Paddock Hill Bend, and back end looks just broken, so a bit of a weird one. Peter Jamesy has a penalty. That can be crucial. But he has gained that all-important bonus point for leading the most laps. He's now led 13 of the laps so far. No one can catch him now. D Whitehouse not being troubled here by the Sierra of Jack Team 53 Synopsis. Big Bloody B has gone down the order. I wonder if... This is how he's made a pit stop. I wonder if he had... It's not a drive-through, it's definitely not a pit stop. He'd lost a lot more time than that, so... Big Bloody B looking to have made a mistake there. Matt and Shadow Stalker, they have swapped around now. So, Matt looking to progress on. Meanwhile, at the front, Johnny's closing in on Jamesy. He's always seen the incentive here. With that time penalty, it's going to be at least 1 second. But as we all know, Johnny would probably prefer to get this done on track. As he comes out of clearways through Clark Curve. Across the start-finish line. Jamesy managing to pick up a bit of pace near the end of that lap. There's Cam, there's D Whitehouse. Everything just a little bit spread out at the moment, but it should condense near the end of this race. Although this could be, again, one to watch. Weedaz and Adam Morris starting to close up together. 1.5 the gap. Well, Jack is now starting to come under pressure from Four Fish during the closing stages of this race. We're nearly 4/5 of the way through as Jamesy leads his 17th lap of the race. He's having a good race so far. He's managing that gap, 1.5 seconds to Johnny, but Johnny's got to be careful because look who's behind him. I don't know who that was that went off. I think that might be Tim who's gone off there. Or it could be traumatic. Or it could be Traumatic Dave actually. But we're on board with Cam on the bumper cam as we head through Graham Hill Bend up towards Surtees. Clearways, Clark Curve. Cam, the master of the Mercedes, is looking for a second place. And right now, that'll do his championship the world of good. His closest rival, Jack, down in 5th place. And Jack's under attack from Four Fish as we head on to lap number 19. Try and keep an eye on these two battles as they go. Adam Morris has got past Weedaz in the meantime. They come right up the back of Web User Johnny. He needs to get this move done, and he needs to get it done quickly if he wants to have a remote chance here of catching up to Jamesy and taking the lead. Going to head on to lap number 20, which would mark the 4/5 stage of this race. 6 laps to go. Cam needs to make this swift. He could do with 5 laps in reality to try and catch Jamesy. He's 2 seconds behind him at the moment. through Graham Hill Bend. There's Jack with four fish. Back with Cam and Dave Whitehouse there. Webb user Johnny. D Whitehouse is in 4th place with a penalty at the moment. Look like a good launch from Clearways through Clark for Cam. Is he close enough to make a move? I don't think he is. 20 laps led then for Jamesy. He has been, I wouldn't say dominating, but he's had a very, very good drive right now. Cam looking for any sort of gap. He might have opened one up here. Nope, the 4-wheel drive system of the Audi cuts that off. Through Graham Hill Bend. Can he get a better run? This would be a good move if Cam can pull this one off. Up into Surtees they go. Clearways. You can see Cam looking for just a different line of any description here to try and get a run, and it looks like he's going to get that run. He's on the outside coming onto the main straight. Can't pull alongside, but he should be close enough to really worry Johnny into Paddock Hill Bend. Then he's looking for the alternative line. Try and get that switch back into Druids. Isn't quite going to happen. He's going to have to look to the outside. Don't think that's going to happen either. Jack is on the back of D Whitehouse 7 now as we enter the final 4 laps. Shadowstalker has Big Bloody B behind as well for company. Meanwhile, that is Weedaz being lapped. Cam 123 Diz still all over the back of Johnny. Johnny's defence has been very, very solid. Impervious almost at the moment to Cam. Cam looking for any bit of slipstream here as Jamesy goes on to lap number 23. Let's just drop back. I wonder if he had like a bit of a half spin or a bit of a time penalty as Weedaz goes onto the grass. Jack still looking. As any driver would, he would prefer to do this on the circuit rather than having to wait for the penalty to kick in. Cam is still looking at the back of the Audi. He's going to be able to draw that perfectly after tonight. Into Surtees. It doesn't even look like Johnny's worried. It's almost like Johnny's inviting him to have a go because he knows the 4-wheel drive of the Audi will just pull him away from the corner enough at the moment to neutralise the ability that Cam has with that Mercedes. There's Jamesy, and he's losing a lot of time as we head on to the penultimate lap. I wonder if he's had a bit of a time penalty because now Johnny is there. Jamesy needs to get that time. Jamesy's got a 3-second penalty. That's a big problem. He's not got 3 seconds back. So right now, Johnny is defending for his life because he knows if he's got the correct heads-up display on his TV, he'll know about Jamesy's penalty. So he'll know how much keeping this place is going to be. And D Whitehouse is now joining the fun, even though he's got a 4-second penalty around here. D Whitehouse looking to the inside. Look at the speed of the Audi. Onto the final lap. Jamesy, he's got to hope these lot fight to the point that they lose about 3 seconds worth. Cam's on the outside. This is going to allow Jack to have a look at the inside now into Druids. Jack almost pushing D Whitehouse into Druids. He knows this could be crucial in the championship. He can't quite get there though. This has been a fantastic little battle, and Jack is now right on the back of Cam as we enter Surtees. Oh, Jack, a bit of a twitch there. He's down the inside of Cam. Into Clark Curve they go. We're going to go back to Peter Jamesy, even though he's not going to win this race. He's going to finish on the road first. A great drive by him. Johnny in second. D Whitehouse third. It's all changing. Jack is in second now. Jamesy third. Cam fourth. Fourfish fifth. So Jack got that move done. D Whitehouse has been demoted to 6th. Rally Max will come home 7th. Shadowstalker will be in 8th place, followed by Big Bloody B. Big Bloody B not able to overtake Shadowstalker. Good result from Shadowstalker, actually, that 8th place. Adam Morris, it's a disappointing race for him. Only 10th place after a complete massacre, really, at Paddock Hill. Traumatic Dave comes home in 12th, Weedaz 11th, and Tim will finish in 13th. So, your provisional results for tonight. Rabuser Johnny claims the win from Jack TM53 Synopsis. Jamesy finishes in 3rd, but he does get that bonus point for the most laps led. 41, 48.9, 148.6. Just having a quick look at the fastest laps. I think it could be Jack who takes that one by the looks of it. 651, 660. 48.623 from Fullfish. That's very, very quick. Cam will finish 4th, Fullfish 5th, D Whitehouse 6th, Rally Matt 7th, Shadowstalker 8th, Big Bloody B in 9th, Adam Morris 10th, Weedaz 11th, Traumatic Dave in 12th, and Tim will finish in 13th. A fantastic race from the guys in the Group A1s, and obviously the fun's not over just yet. There'll be a new stream up in about 10 minutes' time for the Paramaxed Modern Touring Cars, which comes to you live from Brands Hatch GP. That'll be coming up very, very shortly. Next week for the Group A1s, it's going to be Bathurst. We're heading to Mount Panorama, and everyone will be in that deadly Sierra Cosworth, I believe. If I'm correct. I may be wrong. But as far as I'm aware, it's Bathurst in the Sierra Cosworth. It should be an absolute belting race if it is. I should be able to tell. Let's see if I can get something up. It is, yeah, Bathurst in the Ford Sierra Cosworth. So do join us next week for that one for the Group A1s. Stay tuned though, next up, Modern Touring Cars from Brands Hatch GP. But for myself and the guys in the Group A1s, we thank Paramax and Paramax Racing for sponsoring the league. It's always a fantastic thing to have. Thank you guys for watching tonight. I do hope you stay tuned for more action coming tonight. And if not, do join us next week. But from the Group A1s, good night.